You might only know Leonardo da Vinci as a painter, but in the Renaissance, he is the closest thing to the god on earth. Where ordinary people see birds flitting by in a blink, Da Vinci sees them in slow motion. His perspective seems to come from a higher dimension, easily breaking down and analyzing the birds, postures, and flight paths. With just a few sketches and designs, he creates an intricate mechanical bird. He flips a switch and tosses it skyward. Everyone is stunned, unable to tell if it's a real bird or a mechanical model. As the crowd erupts in cheers and applause, Officer Giuliano immediately offers to buy the mechanical bird, but Da Vinci jacks up the price from the contracted 12 gold coins to 30. The craftsmanship is so exquisite that Giuliano has no choice but to grudgingly agree. The Medici family, which Giuliano belongs to, is about to host a carnival and needs such dazzling novelties to impress. Giuliano's brother, Lorenzo Medici, is Florence's ruler. He's just learned that his political ally, the Duke of Milan, has been assassinated, likely by the Vatican. Pope Sixtus IV is a debauched man, changing male companions nightly. He's long had his eye on the Republic of Florence. To counter the looming invasion, Lorenzo plans to throw an unprecedentedly grand carnival to show strength externally and unite people internally. That's why he's commissioned Da Vinci's mechanical birds. Da Vinci isn't just a genius, he's also a romantic. One glimpse is all it takes for him to fall for Lorenzo's beautiful mistress, Donati. This changes his fate completely.
I'm wounded, Nico. I need wine.
While drinking at a tavern with his apprentice, Nico and friend Zorro, Da Vinci notices a surge of mercenaries entering Florence. He senses war in the air. Da Vinci immediately hatches a plan to get close to Donati and make a fortune. Hearing that Donati is looking for a portrait artist, Da Vinci stakes out the flower shop she frequents. He sends Nico to give her his sketch, and his masterful technique instantly wins her over. Da Vinci's passionate yet clear eyes also stir her heart. But when Donati invites Da Vinci to talk, he plays hard to get, claiming to be busy. Soon, Lorenzo summons Da Vinci and hires him as his personal artist, clearly at Donati's request. Da Vinci seizes the opportunity to present Lorenzo with designs for heavy artillery. These weapons would be meat grinders on the battlefield of this era. Lorenzo is stunned by his clever and bold concepts. Sensing the right moment, Da Vinci reveals his true purpose.
I wish to be employed as a military engineer.
As he's guessed, Lorenzo is worried about Florence's weak military. So Da Vinci smoothly becomes Lorenzo's military engineer and receives 50 gold coins as startup funds. As night falls, the carnival officially kicks off with everyone dressed to the nines. The Medici family, as both an ancient Italian noble house and Florence's rulers, hosts this grand event. As Lorenzo lights the altar with the torch, everyone cranes their necks, anticipating the main event. The golden mechanical bird soars and circles high above, its impact as jaw-dropping as the first airplane would be to 20th century folks. Then trailing flames, it swoops down onto the fireworks piled in the square center. This mind-blowing show is all Da Vinci's doing, and his talent and free spirit totally win Donati's heart. Their passionate lovemaking rivals the fireworks outside, lasting long into the night. Afterward, Da Vinci and Donati bare their souls to each other. He shares many of his fascinating ideas and creations, further convincing Donati of his extraordinary nature.
Me again, Leonardo. You're not the only one capable of manipulation.
As usual, Da Vinci goes drinking with Nico and Zorro at the tavern. Suddenly, he notices some guards bullying a Turkish man and steps in to stop them. In a flash, Da Vinci disarms one guard's sword and fends off a sneak attack from another. No one expects the guy, who is always buried in his sketches, to be so skilled with a sword. The Turkish man seems to have been waiting for Da Vinci. He tosses him a strange coin and asks to meet the next night. Da Vinci doesn't think much of it, but as he leaves, he runs into a Jewish thief being executed. Before dying, the thief stares at Da Vinci and says something odd.
I'm a son of earth and starry heaven. I'm thirsty. Please, give me something to drink from the fountain of memory.
The same thing the Turkish man had said. Puzzled and curious, Da Vinci goes to a cellar outside the city and meets the Turkish man, Verrocchio, again. Verrocchio claims to belong to Mithras, a religion older than Christianity, dedicated to protecting and spreading knowledge. The Vatican, in contrast, hoards and suppresses knowledge to prevent people from advancing. Verrocchio drops a bombshell. All human progress and inventions are just rediscovering forgotten knowledge. This knowledge is compiled in a mysterious book called the Book of Leaves. Mithras and the Vatican have been searching for it, and the hanged Jewish man has found a lead. The phrase he and Verrocchio say to Da Vinci is a code among Mithras followers. Da Vinci doesn't see how this involves him, but Verrocchio cryptically mentions his mother. Da Vinci has a photographic memory, remembering everything clearly except his mother. He only knows he's illegitimate. His father a notary under Lorenzo. His father always claims Da Vinci's mother is a slave, treating him terribly and eventually kicking him out. Verrocchio says the Book of Leaves can help him recover his missing memories of his mother.
Well, where do I start my search then? With the hanged man, the seat of the soul.
As Da Vinci tries to ask more, Verrocchio blows some powder at him, knocking him out. Zorro and Nico wake Da Vinci in the morning. Verrocchio and the statue are gone. Last night feels like a dream. Eager to uncover his past, Da Vinci decides to follow Verrocchio's clues to find the Book of Leaves. Meanwhile, the Vatican learns about the Book of Leaves from a spy in Florence. She also mentions the rising star Da Vinci to the Pope, noting his unique and revolutionary ideas and his work designing weapons for the Medici family against the Vatican's invasion. This spy is clearly Lorenzo's mistress, Donati, who has slept with Da Vinci. The Pope doesn't think an artist can cause much trouble, but tells Donati to use Da Vinci as a pawn.
And if he can't?
Then Da Vinci will be consumed in the fiery sorrows of hell, along with the rest of God's enemies.
The Pope's main concern is the Book of Leaves, so he sends his nephew Riario to Florence to seize it. Riario is a brutal character who kills the Pope's male companion just for hearing their conversation. He becomes Da Vinci's most formidable opponent. Da Vinci sends Zorro and Nico to snatch the Jewish man's body from the cemetery. Oddly, the corpse's thumbnail is missing. Recalling Verrocchio's words, Da Vinci figures the soul's dwelling means the stomach. Sure enough, he cuts open the stomach and finds a strange key, confirming Verrocchio's hint.
One man's death opens a doorway to the birth of the next.
While painting Donati's portrait, Da Vinci pumps her for info and learns the Jewish man had hidden in a bookstore before his arrest. Their flirting is cut short when Lorenzo returns, forcing Da Vinci to hide. Hearing Donati and Lorenzo's explicit sweet talk makes him jealous. But Da Vinci has bigger fish to fry. It's time to deliver his upgraded cannon to Lorenzo. Dummies scattered in the woods are there to test its power. Da Vinci's design boasts 30 barrels and can fire continuously, a game changer against Roman cavalry, but only if it has to work. A massive explosion nearly knocks Da Vinci out. He's beefed up the firepower but overlooked the risk of the barrel bursting. Lorenzo's advisor suggests executing Da Vinci as a fraud, but Lorenzo notices the cannon's impressive destructive power. He gives Da Vinci another week to iron out the kinks. Meanwhile, Riario has snuck into Florence with a papal guard squad. Donati tips him off about Da Vinci, investigating the hanged Jewish man. To dig up more dirt, Riario orders Donati to get counsel with both Da Vinci and Lorenzo.
Do continue ensnaring Lorenzo and Da Vinci with that pretty little cunt of yours.
Donati seems cold, like she's being forced to work for the Vatican. Riario bribes the cemetery guard and catches Nico by matching footprints. He kills the guard who asks for payment as a warning. Nico is shaking like a leaf, but doesn't spill why Da Vinci took the Jewish man's body. Riario brings out a torture device called the Widow's Tears. Each turn of the handle slices off a bit of Nico's hand inside. The pain finally breaks Nico, and he confesses, learning about the key. An excited Riario drags Nico to Da Vinci's workshop. Nico stops the guards from ransacking the place and triggers a hidden door in the wall. He claims the key is in a weirdly shaped lockbox. As the guards hack at it, Riario smells a rat. The box explodes, leaving Riario covered in soot and ready to strangle Nico. Da Vinci's timely return forces Riario to flee, leaving two bodies. After hearing Nico's ordeal, Da Vinci realizes the Vatican is also after the Book of Leaves. The explosion alerts the city guards, and Lorenzo shows up to investigate. To cover up his illegal autopsy, Da Vinci lies that the papal guards were trying to steal weapon designs. Lorenzo is furious and threatens Da Vinci, finish the weapons on time or face the gallows. But Da Vinci plays it cool. He has an ace up his sleeve, a plan to deal with Riario and win Lorenzo's trust in one fell swoop. You can't imagine how sexually open Italy was during the Renaissance. The Pope in Rome changes his male lovers every night, killing them if they don't satisfy him. In Florence, the ruler Lorenzo just finished a steamy session with his mistress Donati in the stables, and then Donati hops into the famous artist Da Vinci's bed for a night of passion. But neither Lorenzo nor Da Vinci knows that Donati is actually a spy from the Vatican. The Vatican is on the hunt for a mysterious book called the Book of Leaves, which supposedly contains all knowledge. The Pope is even ready to send Roman cavalry to invade Florence for it. Da Vinci, after getting involved with an ancient religion called Mithras, also learns about the Book of Leaves. He's designing multi-barrel cannons for Lorenzo to fight off the Vatican while also chasing leads on the book. Taking a huge risk, Da Vinci secretly dissects a hanged Jewish man who is also a Mithras follower. He gets his hands on a weird key and starts studying it, just a glance, and he's got a holographic image of it in his mind. As he breaks down and analyzes the model, Da Vinci realizes the key is only half complete. He pulls out a coin given to him by the Turkish, and the pattern on it confirms his hunch. Da Vinci then heads to the street where the Jewish was nabbed and chats up a blind beggar who's always there. The beggar tells him about hearing the Jewish man being chased by a mob that night, falling, and then the sound of pages flipping. Da Vinci figures out from their language that the mob was from the Vatican. The Jewish man had a book with him, and Donati mentioned he hid in a bookstore before getting caught. So Da Vinci races over there, learning there are 10 bookshelves in the store. Da Vinci remembers the Jewish man's missing thumbnail. It's clearly a clue, 10 fingers for 10 shelves.
It would be more obvious when counting to orient oneself towards the opposite cardinal direction, the east and the rising sun. Additionally, Hebrew is the sacred language of the Jews, which is read from right to left. So, if we count from the right, we get row number 5.
Blood on the floor confirms where the Jewish man bit off his nail. The only dust-free book on the shelf must be the clue he hid. The Hebrew writing inside proves Da Vinci's theory right. Just as he's leaving the store, he's surrounded by soldiers, clearly the Pope's guards sent by Riario. Da Vinci pulls out a small container, claiming it's a super powerful grenade he just invented. The guards are skeptical, but still wary after being blown up by Da Vinci's puzzle box earlier. Zorro gets cocky and starts taunting the guards.
This is a grenade. It's a grenade.
Da Vinci tells Nico and Zorro to take off with the book while he deals with the guards. Outnumbered, he has to make a run for it. Passing a building under construction, Da Vinci takes one look at the scaffolding and instantly analyzes its structure and stress points. He cuts and grabs a pulley rope, using it to lift himself up while kicking out a key support beam. The whole scaffold collapses onto the pursuing guards. After shaking off the guards, Da Vinci takes the book to his teacher who knows Hebrew. But the book just talks about the origins of the universe, with frequent mentions of the vault of heaven. Da Vinci's disappointed. Looks like it's another puzzle, not the answer. Meanwhile, Riario meets Lorenzo and his wife as a Roman envoy. He's not just after the Book of Leaves, he's also delivering the Pope's orders. He grills Lorenzo about secretly building cannons and then demands he hand over Pisa, one of the cities under his control. Lorenzo's angry and shocked. How does the Vatican know his secrets? Riario gives him 24 hours to think it over, warning that the Roman army is almost at their doorstep. At dinner, Lorenzo arranges a dance show called Eden. He publicly mocks Riario, comparing his arrival to a snake entering Eden, basically declaring war on the Vatican. Riario shrugs it off and tries to win over Da Vinci. He knows geniuses crave unknown knowledge and secrets, so he promises Da Vinci access to the Vatican's secret archives, full of hidden knowledge.
You're offering me forbidden fruit now.
That's what serpents do, isn't it?
After some thought, Da Vinci agrees to hand over the key and book to Riario tomorrow. Lorenzo overhears all of this. The next day, Lorenzo angrily sets up an ambush in the hills. He's ready to tear Da Vinci and Riario to pieces if he catches them making a deal. When the Pope's guards show up for the meeting, Da Vinci places a flask on a big rock nearby. Riario brings an extra box of gold, hoping to get Da Vinci to work for the Vatican as well as find the Book of Leaves. But Da Vinci changes his mind, saying he'll never let the Vatican get the book.
You want to suppress knowledge?
No, I want to administer it. Someone has to, why not? An agent of God.
Well, if God exists, surely he intended his knowledge to be shared by all.
As Riario looks confused, Da Vinci suddenly shouts, "Long live Florence!" loud enough for Lorenzo to hear from the hills. The flask on the rock focuses sunlight to light a fuse.
I tell your Pope that neither Florence nor Da Vinci will be contained.
The Pope's guards are blown away by multiple cannons. Before they can react, Da Vinci's second volley starts. Riario has to run away with what's left of his guards. He's amazed by Da Vinci's genius and inventions, but isn't worried about him finding the Book of Leaves first. He's got the other half of the key. Da Vinci's carefully planned show kills 3 birds with 1 stone. He tests the cannons in real combat, scares the Vatican, and wins Lorenzo's trust. But they know the Vatican will strike back soon, so Lorenzo tells Da Vinci to mass-produce the multi-barrel cannons ASAP. After setting up the cannon production line at the armory, Da Vinci starts working on the clues about the Book of Leaves left by the Jewish man. Learning that Hebrew has 27 letters, Da Vinci realizes they match the 27 illustrations in the book. This reminds him of steganography, an encryption method invented by the Greeks. He immediately tears out all the illustrations, arranges them in order as a matrix, and looks down at them from his lifting machine. Sure enough, an ancient map appears. Its outline looks kind of like Africa or Latin America, but not quite either. While Da Vinci's scratching his head, he accidentally knocks an egg off the table. Looking at the cracked eggshell, a bold idea hits him. Isn't the map outline the shape of Africa and Europe put together?
It can only be where there are now 2 landmasses. There once was just one.
The Vault of Heaven, mentioned in the book, is in the center of Africa, and that's where the Book of Leaves must be. Da Vinci's thrilled and plans to go there after they beat back Rome's invasion. The whole of Florence is under curfew, gearing up for war, but Donati's still sneaking info to the Vatican. The patrol guys know she's off to see Lorenzo for some hanky-panky, so no one's giving her a hard time. Her cover as Lorenzo's mistress is working like a charm for her spy gig. But Lorenzo and his crew are starting to smell a rat. The Vatican seems to know all their moves, from hiring Da Vinci to making weapons. Lorenzo's mentor, Bitchy, is side-eyeing Lorenzo's wife, Clarice, cause she's Roman royalty, but Lorenzo's not buying it. He's sure his wife's loyal. Still, he can't shake the feeling something's up. Clarice picks up on her hubby's stress and decides to lend a hand. She comes clean about knowing Lorenzo's got a mistress, but warns him not to be blinded by beauty.
You can have that escape, but you do have to come back. You must always come back.
Clarice is clearly suspicious of Donati. She's the only outsider in Lorenzo's inner circle, so Clarice sets up a meeting with Donati for testing her. Donati plays it cool and normal, but when Becci drops the bomb that they will checking everyone's recent outings, Donati freaks out. She knows she's in the hot seat and needs to act fast to keep her cover. She sneaks some fake leak letters into Becci's place, then heads to Lorenzo. Lorenzo's surprised that he didn't summon Donati, as he's too busy stressing about finding the mole, but Donati needs to spend the night with him, or she will be suspected for this outing.
I don't want you here.
No, of course you don't.
Lorenzo can't resist temptation, and they end up doing the deed right there in the stables. It only lasts a minute, but it's enough to get Donati off the hook. She even pretends to care, hinting to Lorenzo that the people he trusts most might be the ones to watch out for. The next day, the guards find the leak letters and some cash at Becci's place. Lorenzo can't believe his most trusted mentor would stab him in the back, but the evidence is staring him in the face. Plus, Donati's words from last night are messing with his head. In the end, Becci gets thrown in the slammer, and Lorenzo loses an important ally. But the Vatican's not just playing spy games in Florence, they're using more despicable means to crush people's will to resist.
I know why you
The
came.
eternal word of God made flesh commands you. The sacred mystery of the cross commands you.
I know what you
The
crave.
exalted Virgin Mary commands you.
In 15th century Italy, any unexplainable illness is seen as demonic possession. The Vatican sends bishops to perform exorcisms on the sick, and even nuns aren't safe from being tortured to death. Da Vinci just chased off the Pope's guards with his new multi-barrel cannons, and now the Vatican's hitting back. The Roman army's about to knock on Florence's door, and weird stuff's starting to happen in the city. A filthy blood-covered woman runs through the streets, screaming and crying like she's lost her marbles. Da Vinci's friend Vanessa recognizes her as a nun, having grown up in a convent herself. The nun curses the ruling Medici family for incest and blasphemy, saying they've brought a curse on Florence. Then she grabs a guard's sword and kills herself right there in the street. Lorenzo Medici, the ruler in Florence, sends his brother Giuliano to check out the convent. On the way, a wild-looking nun blocks their path. Without warning, she jumps a guard and claws up his face. Giuliano barely gets her under control when another nun attacks. But the real creepy stuff is yet to come. At the convent, it's dead quiet, not a soul in sight. A freaked-out guard rushes to kiss the feet of the St. Anthony statue. Giuliano carefully pushes open a door and finds the place has turned into a makeshift hospital. Tons of nuns are tied to beds, acting like they're possessed by demons. Da Vinci hears that Vanessa's gone nuts too. She's his good friend and the only girl who'd model for his art, so he drops everything and heads to the convent. Vanessa's lost it, moaning in pain like her body's on fire. The Mother Superior won't let Da Vinci help, thinking his dirty art attracts demons.
The nude modeling, the carnal relations, the cadavers you debase in the name of science. Your endeavors condemn all they touch.
Giuliano suspects it's some kind of plague, not demon possession, but Da Vinci can't figure out what disease could hit so fast. He decides to start with the usual suspects, like poisoning. Da Vinci first thinks of hallucinogenic and deadly mushrooms, but the guards can't find any around the convent. They rule out wolf spiders too. Then Da Vinci checks the art studio. Too much mercury in paint can cause poisoning, but that's a dead end too. Just then, Bishop Mercury from the Vatican shows up to do the Sacred Congregation of Rites. Da Vinci's suspicious about how quickly the Vatican got wind of this. The Mother Superior trusts the bishop more and begs him to save the crazy nuns, but the bishop's prayers don't do jack against the demon. The nun even trash talks him.
All you think about is
I adjure you by the living God, by the true God, cease your deception of this woman.
The bishop loses it and chokes her to death.
The moments before she died, I saw the light of God in her eyes. She is saved.
Da Vinci's shocked and about to lay into the bishop when Vanessa suddenly gets worse. She's totally out of it and even kisses Da Vinci. The bishop wants to exorcise her too, but Da Vinci insists on giving her a chance to fight the demon alone. He buys himself a day to find the real cause. While the other nuns are praying in panic, Da Vinci tests out his theories but comes up empty. Suddenly, there's a commotion outside. A guard's gone nuts and is attacking people. Learning the guy's been praying hard and fasting all day, something clicks in Da Vinci's mind. He realizes the guard and the nuns all did one thing: kiss St. Anthony's feet.
Well, then it may be time for your patron to shed some light on our problem. I need fireflies.
Da Vinci has Nico grab some fireflies. Their bioluminescence can light up certain microbes. Sure enough, red colonies show up on the statue's feet. Mystery solved. It's ergot fungus, which causes burning pain and hallucinations. Someone clearly smeared the bacteria on the statue, and everyone who kissed it went crazy. The bishop thinks Da Vinci's talking nonsense and wants to burn the nuns to purify them.
Well, all you need to do is kiss the feet of St. Anthony. You proved me wrong.
The bishop clams up, obviously knowing Da Vinci's onto something. Da Vinci quickly prescribes antiseptic remedies and tells the Mother Superior to use leeches for bloodletting. Da Vinci starts feeling the pain and hallucinations too, probably from Vanessa kissing him. Luckily, the Mother Superior's already using his treatment, and it's working wonders. The bishop, feeling his authority challenged, storms off in a huff. Da Vinci's managed to foil the Vatican's plot by the skin of his teeth. But what he doesn't know is that the person who smeared the bacteria on the statue was Donati, the woman he's head over heels for. The Pope's plan to mess with Florence from the inside flops, so he sends Rorario to snatch the Medici family's alum mines. Rorario, being the brutal dude he is, kills off all the miners one by one. This move cuts off a major cash flow for the Medici family and pretty much declares war on Florence. Lorenzo's furious when he hears about it. He rounds up all his top dogs to plan their defense, then heads out to talk with Rorario. The Vatican's demanding the Medici family hand over Pisa and Da Vinci, no questions asked.
I'd rather have my testicles gnawed off by conger eels.
Lorenzo's too proud to just roll over, especially since he's got those multi-barrel cannons up his sleeve. But Riario's acting all cocky. He's got intel that Florence only cranked out 10 of those cannons. Even if all 330 shots hit their mark, it wouldn't be enough to take out 2,000 Roman cavalry. The Roman horsemen would bust through while the Florence guys are reloading. Lorenzo's face drops. He knows Florence is seriously outgunned and outnumbered.
You need more guns, Da Vinci. Our lives depend on it.
Da Vinci gets how serious this is. A few more cannons won't turn the tide. He's racking his brain, but coming up empty. Donati sees he's stressed and counts these up to him. Her softness takes the edge off, and they end up in a passionate tangle, finding comfort in each other. Donati might be forced to spy for the Vatican, but she's rooting for Da Vinci to take out that scumbag Riario. Da Vinci spots a pomegranate by the bed, and suddenly gets hit with inspiration. He throws himself into developing a new weapon, barely eating or sleeping. But that spark of an idea slips away, and he hits a wall. Time's running out. Roman scouts sneak into Florence, spreading flyers saying they're attacking at dawn. The pressure's getting to Da Vinci. He starts hallucinating, seeing the city streets run red with blood tomorrow. Finally, he's losing it. He chucks some sulfur into a furnace. The explosion wrecks the workshop and most of the finished cannons. Lorenzo's beyond pissed when he finds out. Without those cannons, they don't stand a chance against Rome. In despair, he hurls a pomegranate at Da Vinci. Watching the seeds scatter, Da Vinci Fronci, the epiphany of genius only takes a moment. The next day, Lorenzo arrives outside the city in frustration. He's about to talk surrender with Riario when Da Vinci suddenly interrupts him.
We are clear whose surrender we're discussing. Yeah. It's yours.
Both Riario and Lorenzo think they've lost it, but Da Vinci's all smug showing off his new invention, the cluster bomb. When it blows, hundreds of little explosives and metal bits fly everywhere. It's a cavalry's worst nightmare. Inspired by that pomegranate, he's also built a giant crossbow to launch them further. Riario looks skeptical, so Da Vinci demos a mini version. Riario flashes back to the shock and fear from Da Vinci's puzzle box bomb and multi-barrel cannons. He doesn't doubt for a second that Da Vinci could whip up this kind of killer weapon. A few dozen of these could wipe out his cavalry. Riario talks tough, but ends up retreating with his tail between his legs. Lorenzo's still trying to process how they just turned certain defeat into victory, but he's in for an even bigger shock.
It's more a feat of art than weaponry.
Turns out it's just a model he had craftsmen throw together overnight, all show and no go. Da Vinci's guts are as impressive as his brains, and Lorenzo's completely won over. With the crisis averted, Da Vinci's itching to go hunt for the Book of Leaves. He's planning to ask Lorenzo to bankroll an expedition as reward for saving Florence. At the Victory Bash, Da Vinci's the man of the hour. Lorenzo even makes him head of the Knights of St. John. Da Vinci's in the middle of hyping up his expedition plans when a bunch of guards crash the party. They say Da Vinci's been accused of sodomy and he's under arrest. If he's found guilty, it's the burning at the stake for him. Lorenzo recognizes the leader as Francesco, who's tight with the Pope. He knows this is the Vatican's plot against Da Vinci, but officially he can't interfere with the judiciary, so he has to watch Da Vinci get hauled off for trial. But being the genius he is, Da Vinci's not about to let himself be pushed around. He's got some mind-blowing tricks up his sleeve to get out of this jam and take revenge.
This is how history will remember you. A pig in the middle of your courtroom.
Just because he's falsely accused of sodomy, Da Vinci forces the judge to play with a sow. He even broadcasts the whole ordeal across the city sky. You might know Da Vinci as an artist, but he's also a brilliant inventor and a master escape artist. Ever since he scared off the Roman army with his invented cluster bombs and giant crossbow, the Vatican has seen him as a thorn in their side. That's why the Pope secretly had someone falsely accuse Da Vinci of sodomy, landing him in jail. Discovering bats in solitary confinement, Da Vinci hatches an escape plan. He deliberately picks fights with other inmates to earn a spot in solitary. Then, he asks his father to bring him fresh rainforest grapes during a visit. The guards are immediately on edge, worried about what trick he might pull. Da Vinci starts explaining how the concave shape of grape leaves can amplify echoes, attracting bats for pollination.
Because bats use echo to navigate.
The guards think he's lost his mind, but little do they know the bat will be key to his escape. Da Vinci's father urges him to plead guilty, arguing he'd only face castration instead of being burned alive in public. However, on the day of the trial, faced with the judge's sharp accusations, Da Vinci just keeps his head down, scribbling something on paper. Suddenly, he stands up, tapping his pencil incessantly on the table. He exposes the trial as a political conspiracy because he's the biggest obstacle to the Vatican's invasion of Florence, but the judge doesn't buy it and adjourns the court to shut him up. Da Vinci seizes the chance to have his father pass a note to his friend Zorro. It's full of gibberish like an encrypted letter. Zorro is helping Giuliano rehearse a play, because Florence is about to host a grand performance. Sure enough, he could decipher the note's contents. Following Da Vinci's instructions, Zorro suggests Giuliano base the play on the pig-stealing story from the Decameron. Then he heads to the market with a shopping list and design sketch from Da Vinci. Though clueless about the plan, Zorro follows through. The trial resumes with the prosecution bringing in a witness claiming Da Vinci sodomized him. To debunk the lie, Da Vinci writes some pointed questions for his defense attorney, his father. He asks about all the details, including the time, place, and even posture of the sodomy.
This was your first time being raped?
Yes.
Did my client take you from the front or the back?
Under the pressure of shame and nerves, the witness's story falls apart. The judge stops the defense and quietly threatens to throw him in jail with Da Vinci. Turns out the judge is already bribed, and this trial is just for show. The prosecution then presents new evidence. They has just searched Da Vinci's workshop and found many nude sketches and research on other religions. It's enough to charge him with blasphemy and heresy. The judge adds witchcraft to the sodomy charge, scheduling the verdict and execution for the next day. Meanwhile, Da Vinci's friends build a periscope-like device per his request, along with some other odd props. They're puzzled about how he plans to use these from jail.
A prism, a potion, a periscope, a pig, and a paste pot. If a madman created a scavenger hunt, this is what it would look like.
But Da Vinci is already putting his escape plan in motion. He's been feeding grapes to the bats he lured with the leaves, then forming their phosphorus-rich droppings into small balls tied to their legs. When the bats fly outside, the rising temperature causes the phosphorus to ignite, creating mini explosions. The series of explosions throws the prison guards into chaos. They suspect Da Vinci, but he's still in his cell. Outside, Zorro sees the flashes of boom and disguises himself as a guard. He sneaks into the prison and steals the cell key to release Da Vinci. To ensure the plan's success, Da Vinci and Zorro swap clothes.
Sodomite.
When the guard returned to the cell, he kicks Da Vinci a few times to vent his anger, not realizing the real Da Vinci has already escaped.
Fuck you, Leo.
The judge wakes up to find himself tied to a horny sow. The more he struggles, the more excited the pig gets. Da Vinci introduces his new invention, a large projector made with prisms and convex lenses. It needs a burning magnesium strip as a strong light source for nighttime use. As the lens cap opens, the focused image from inside the room is magnified through multiple refractions and projected onto the clouds above. Florence's theatrical performance is underway, coincidentally showing the pig-stealing scene from the Decameron. The image in the sky matches perfectly. This might be the world's first live broadcast. Da Vinci threatens to project the judge's face in the sky unless he acquits him in court tomorrow.
The more scandalous the accusation, the greater their appetite for it. I mean, the gallery was filled at my trial, and I am just a mad artist!
He's even recorded the scene on a silver nitrate-treated canvas as insurance. The judge thinks people won't believe it, but Da Vinci tells him it's not about truth or lies. The best story wins. The next day, as the final judgment begins, Da Vinci's father hangs his head in despair. But the judge quickly dismisses the charges due to lack of evidence and hurries out. The prosecution is stunned, while the audience celebrates. Da Vinci has once again foiled the Vatican's plot. He rushes to see his beloved Donati, but she's racked with guilt. The letter accusing Da Vinci of sodomy was actually from her, forced by the Roman Church, but she's long since fallen in love with him. After everything settles down, Da Vinci resumes his search for the Book of Leaves and his mother. Suddenly, the mysterious Turk Verrocchio reappears. He informs Da Vinci that the Jewish man's map is an encrypted copy, decipherable only by the cartographer who duplicated it. As a coin spins rapidly in a dish, Da Vinci falls into a trance. The next moment, he finds himself on a forest path with Zorro and Nico. Nico complains that he suddenly clamored to go out last night and then led them here. Ahead looms a towering castle, the very place Verrocchio mentioned where the cartographer is held captive. The castle belongs to Vlad, a bloodthirsty warlord. Impaled corpses surround the fortress, showcasing his brutality. Having heard of Da Vinci's recent fame in Florence, Vlad invites him to dinner. To intimidate his guests, Vlad forces a captive to fight two vicious dogs. The prisoner is quickly torn apart, leaving Nico and Zorro horrified. Only Da Vinci remains composed, demonstrating dazzling, divine fire using flame tests. Impressed, Vlad accepts Da Vinci as his honored guest. In gratitude, Da Vinci offers Florentine brandy, insisting everyone, including servants and hounds, take a sip.
There's some for you, the last little drop.
Soon feeling dizzy, Da Vinci quickly surveys the castle's layout and creating a mental 3D model. After deducing the cartographer's likely location, he returns to his room and gives Zorro and Nico the antidote. He'd spiked the brandy with a sleeping drug, ensuring everyone else would be unconscious. Da Vinci's deduction proves correct. The cartographer is trapped at the castle's summit in a spherical iron cage, impaled by countless swords. Removing them in the wrong order would result in death by 1,000 cuts. Da Vinci rapidly calculates all possible sword removal combinations, soon finding the solution. He and Zorro carefully extract each sword, finally freeing the cartographer. However, the cartographer warns that their troubles aren't over.
Fuck me.
Vlad had seen through Da Vinci's ruse and was lying in wait. He mercilessly beats the defenseless Da Vinci. Zorro tries to intervene with a crucifix from behind, but to no avail. Da Vinci remembers the magnesium powder in his pocket from the divine fire trick. The roaring flames instantly engulf Vlad, but moments later, he emerges from the flames again, and now Da Vinci is completely at his wit's end. In their moment of despair, the cartographer arrives just in time and stabs Vlad Beg. Da Vinci seizes the opportunity to push Vlad out the window. After escaping the castle, the cartographer collapses from blood loss. The spherical cage was an unsolvable death trap, inevitably wounding its prisoner regardless of how the swords were removed. The cartographer is a Mithras follower like Verrocchio. He instructs Da Vinci to skin him after death, revealing tattoos with instructions for decoding the map. To find the Book of Leaves, they need 2 keys, with the other one in the Vatican. Da Vinci immediately plans to infiltrate the Papal State. He'll showcase another invention ahead of its time, appearing before the Pope in an unexpected manner. Even in the heat of passion with his mistress, Da Vinci's mind never stops inventing. Glancing at a pomegranate by the bed, he instantly gets the idea for a cluster bomb based on its internal structure. Paired with a giant crossbow, it's enough to send Roman cavalry running without a fight. Just dipping his face in a basin of water sparks, Da Vinci's idea for a diving suit. When he learns that another key to unlock the Vault of Heaven and find the Book of Leaves is in the Vatican, Da Vinci immediately plans to sneak in, but the Vatican's tight security stumps him, even with the layout in hand. While washing his face, bubbles in the water trigger a light bulb moment. If he can't sneak in above ground, why not go underwater? He sends his apprentice Nico to grab pigskin glass and fishing nets. Just like that, the world's first diving gear is born. Under cover of darkness, they row to the middle of the Vatican's moat. Da Vinci hooks up the air tube to a bellows, suits up, and jumps in with a jar of fireflies for light. Zorro works the bellows on the boat, pumping air to Da Vinci. Soon enough, he's in the Vatican's drainage system. Everything's going smoothly until some night guards show up on the bank. Zorro and Nico quickly cover the bellows and pretend to be fishing. Without air, Da Vinci struggled underwater and his face contorted in agony. Nico's heart races watching the air tube writhe. As soon as the guards leave, they frantically resume pumping. A few more seconds, and Da Vinci would have been a goner. Minutes later, he's in the sewer and surfaces. Da Vinci starts drilling a hole in the ceiling just as the Pope's about to take a bath. With a thunderous crash, the bathwater level plummets, and a figure rises from the mist.
Who dares?
Leonardo da Vinci, the man you sought to have imprisoned and burned.
The Pope turns to flee, but an arrow whizzes past his ear. When Da Vinci asks for clues about the Book of Leaves, the Pope refuses to cooperate, but Da Vinci spots the secret door just by watching how the candle flames flicker. Inside the secret room, Da Vinci's blown away by the treasure trove of rare books and manuscripts, stuff even he's never seen before. These are the Vatican's secret scrolls, knowledge pillaged from around the world. The Pope tries to win Da Vinci over by offering him the job of scroll keeper, even showing off more precious artifacts. There's a dragon skull and the spear of destiny that killed Jesus, all incredibly valuable for research. Da Vinci's tempted, for sure. The Pope even has a fragment of the Book of Leaves, covered in ancient, scriptic writing that changes every time you look at it. It's proof that the book really does hold endless mysteries and knowledge. Just then, Riario bursts into the bathroom, spots the hole and the diving suit, and realizes there's an intruder. With guards on the way, The Pope promises to help Da Vinci find the Book of Leaves and his mother in exchange for loyalty, but Da Vinci won't play ball with the church's knowledge hoarding. He grabs the Spear of Destiny, catching the guards off guard. But he's outnumbered and has to make a run for it. Back at the boat, Zorro's about to collapse from working the bellows when something stirs underwater. He sighs with relief, gloating that Da Vinci's behavior will piss off the Pope.
I can't believe you stuck it to that Riario. Oh, I wish I could see his face when he figures it out.
Wishes come true.
Exhausted Zorro's no match for Riario, but luckily Nico's sneaking up from behind. Meanwhile, Da Vinci dashes into the stables. The guard easily snaps the Spear of Destiny and shrugs off Da Vinci's punch like it's nothing. In no time, Da Vinci's pinned against the wall with a chain around his neck. While the guard grabs an axe, Da Vinci stretches for the broken spear with his foot. The Pope's artifact lives up to the hype. It slices through the iron axe and armor like butter. As Da Vinci's running through the Vatican, he stumbles into a hidden cell. The old man inside recognizes the ring on Da Vinci's neck. It's from Donati. Turns out, he's Donati's father. Da Vinci realizes Donati's the mole in Florence. Even if the Pope's blackmailing her, it's a hard pill to swallow. Guards start banging on the door, but Donati's dad won't leave. Da Vinci has no choice but to escape solo, using a rope out the window. He's bummed about coming up empty-handed, but Zorro's got a surprise for him. The other key he's been after, it's hanging around Riario's neck. Nico noticed it when his knife hit something hard on Riario's chest last night. Da Vinci doesn't kill Riario for a cold-blooded killer like him. Humiliation's worse than death. Every time Da Vinci uncovers a new lead, Verrocchio, the Turkish calling himself the son of Mithras, shows up with new instructions. Now that he's got the map and key, Da Vinci's ready to set sail. Verrocchio's lined up a cargo ship leaving in the morning, but they still need a special astrolabe to navigate. Following Verrocchio's directions, Da Vinci finds the astrolabe in the Medici family's secret room. That's when he learns Lorenzo's grandfather was also a Mithras follower. While Da Vinci's busy prepping for his sea voyage, Florence is a hotbed of intrigue. Lorenzo and his wife are trying their hardest to pop out a son and heir, but no luck. So, he cooks up a plan to marry off his brother Giuliano to the Pazzi family. It's a two-birds-one-stone deal. Solve the heir problem and smooth things over with Francesco. But Francesco's playing both sides, secretly plotting with the Roman Church to overthrow the Medici. They plan to poison Lorenzo's communion wafer during Easter Mass. Meanwhile, Giuliano's ticked off about Lorenzo arranging his marriage without asking. He's already head over heels for Da Vinci's friend Vanessa. He hits up Vanessa's tavern to drown his sorrows and ends up confessing his feelings. When curfew hits, he takes her up on her offer to crash at her place.
Seems my cock doesn't know what's good for him.
Luckily, I do.
Come morning, Giuliano's still basking in the afterglow when his guy bursts in with a lead on the spy. Turns out the night watch can't arrest VIPs breaking curfew, so they use codenames instead. During the recent info leaks, the codename Gemini kept popping up. After some digging, they figure out it's Lorenzo's mistress, Donati. On their way to Donati's, they stumble upon 3 Roman soldiers trying to rape her. Turns out, after failing to frame Da Vinci for sodomy, the church decided to off Donati to tie up loose ends. Giuliano jumps in, sword swinging. He takes out the Romans, but his guy bites the dust. When Donati makes a run for it, Giuliano chases her down and demanding why she betrayed Florence. In a panic, she stabs him in the gut. Giuliano passes out from blood loss. Donati spills the beans to Da Vinci about the Vatican's plot to poison Lorenzo, begging him to stop it. But Da Vinci can't forgive her spying, especially the letter accusing him of sodomy that nearly got him killed. Plus, he's laser focused on finding the Book of Leaves and couldn't care less about Florence's fate.
It's Easter. If Florence demands a sacrifice, I suggest you offer yourself.
The next day, Florence's elite flock to the cathedral for Easter Mass. Francesco's got Pazzi family goons planted throughout the church. Once Lorenzo drops dead, they'll wipe out the Medici and take over Florence. The Roman priest sneaks poison into the communion wafer while the bishop's not looking. Lorenzo, none the wiser, is about to pop it in his mouth. Turns out Giuliano didn't die. He'd been floating downriver until an old-timer fished him out. Despite his wound, he hauled ass back to expose the Roman Church's plot. Francesco drops the act and calls for the Medici's downfall. All hell breaks loose in the church. with swords clashing and screams echoing. Giuliano fights like a champ, but his gut wound slows him down. Two priests jump him and finish the job. The bloodthirsty priests set their sights on Lorenzo's wife and daughters. In the nick of time, Donati shows up to stop them. Finally standing up to the Roman Church, Lorenzo and Francesco are going at it blow for blow, when another enemy joins in, putting Lorenzo on the ropes. His neck gets sliced and bleeding out, just when all hope seems lost. At the last second before boarding his ship, Da Vinci decides to turn back. Sure, most of his memories in Florence are painful, but it's his hometown, and Lorenzo's done right by him. He can't let the Roman Church turn the place into a bloody hellscape. Knowing he can't take on a group with just his sword skills, Da Vinci came prepared with a homemade Molotov cocktail as a backup plan. He helps Lorenzo into a side room for a breather. While patching up Lorenzo's wound, Da Vinci accidentally shows the ring hanging around his neck. Lorenzo recognizes it as Donati's prized possession and realizes Da Vinci's been fooling around with his mistress. Here they are at death's door, arguing over a woman. Meanwhile, outside, Rarario's lugging in a cannon, aiming it right at their door. With just a glance at an anatomy chart, Da Vinci dares to perform a blood transfusion. He grabs some sheep intestine, fixes pointy tips on both ends, and slices into his and Lorenzo's arm veins. He sticks the intestine into their blood vessels, but without pressure, the blood's not flowing as expected. The assistant raises Da Vinci's wooden bed, and gravity does the trick, slowly pumping his blood into Lorenzo. This crazy stunt would have landed them on the gallows if the church found out. But Florence is in chaos. Even the priests and bishops are on a killing spree. The Roman Church teamed up with the Pazzi family to off Lorenzo during Easter Mass and topple the Medici rule in Florence. Da Vinci showed up just in time, using Molotov cocktails to push back the enemy and dragged the badly wounded Lorenzo into a side room. Rarario blasts the door open with a cannon, only to find the room empty. Da Vinci and Lorenzo had already slipped into a secret tunnel, but Lorenzo is losing blood fast and can barely move. The pursuers are getting closer and closer behind there. Passing a drain, Da Vinci quickly analyzes the surrounding terrain and instantly comes up with a brilliant plan. Soon, Rarario spots Lorenzo lying motionless ahead. All excited, Francesco runs up with his gun to claim Lorenzo's head as a trophy. Rario's not sweating it, thinking only one blast can't take them all out, but Da Vinci's always full of surprises. With the tunnels blocked, Rario's forced to give up the chase. By the time Da Vinci drags Lorenzo back to his workshop, he's on death's door from blood loss. Da Vinci makes a wild call, a blood transfusion. The 13th century physician Nefis had already proven that blood flows between the heart and lungs through veins and arteries. Da Vinci figures if he pumps blood into the veins, it'll kickstart circulation. Drawing on his autopsy experience, he picks the wide, slow-flowing median cubital vein for the transfusion. His crazy gamble pays off. Lorenzo wakes up hours later. Lorenzo's desperate for news about the city, only to learn Florence has descended into chaos. The Pazzi family stirring up folks to attack guards and Medici supporters. Looters are running wild, spreading panic. Now only the Medici palace has not fallen, with Lorenzo's wife, Clarice, commanding the retainers and guards to fight to the death. Francesco leads the Pazzi are going all out to storm the palace. Just as their battering ram's about to break through, a hail of rocks and arrows rains down from the walls. The mob scrambles, then gets doused with boiling oil from the drains on the gate. One torch, and the whole entrance would go up in flames. Seeing the palace won't fall easily, Francesco spreads rumors in the square that Lorenzo's dead. Lorenzo's not just Florence's ruler, but its heart and soul. His death would crush the defenders, and people's spirits hiding on a rooftop. Da Vinci knows he's got to expose Francesco's lie ASAP. Looking at the surrounding buildings and the nearby bell tower, he gets an idea. That night, as the Pazzi rile up the crowd for a final assault on the palace, no one notices two black-robed men sneaking through the crowd into the bell tower, and they are none other than Da Vinci and Lorenzo. Da Vinci set up many curved copper dishes on rooftops around the square, all precisely angled based on his calculations. Sound from the tower will bounce off these, amplifying across the entire square. With the dull chime and the blinding light from the magnesium rod, everyone's attention is drawn to it. The last copper dish rises on the opposite building, like a giant mic pointed at Lorenzo. Francesco senses something is wrong, but it's too late. Lorenzo starts his speech, calling out Francesco's lies and exposing the Pazzi's plot to usurp Florence in collusion with Rome.
Power has always been derived from the people, not from traitorous whispers in quiet, dark holes.
As a top-notch leader, Lorenzo knows how to rally the people and sway public opinion. The tide quickly turns in his favor. People start chanting Medici battle cries, crushing the Pazzi's dreams of power. And then comes the time of reckoning, when frantic populace hunt down rebels and torture them once they are caught. Overnight, the Pazzi family is wiped off the map in Florence. The rebellion's mastermind, Francesco, and a Vatican bishop swing from the gallows, marking a blood feud between the Medici and Rome. Da Vinci bids farewell to Lorenzo, ready to set sail in search of the Book of Leaves. But with Florence gearing up to face Rome's revenge, Lorenzo can't spare any big ships for Da Vinci's voyage. He splits the Medici family's heirloom sword in two, giving the smaller one to Da Vinci. They are blood brothers, but now they share the same blood. Lorenzo wishes Da Vinci luck in finding the Book of Leaves and bringing its knowledge back to Florence. Just as Da Vinci's stressing about not having a ship, Zorro shows up. Da Vinci's shocked. Zorro and Nico were supposed to be long gone on the basilisk. Turns out, after Da Vinci rushed back to save Lorenzo at the church, Zorro boarded the basilisk to sweet-talk the captain into delaying their departure. But Riario, having squeezed Da Vinci's travel plans out of Donati, was already lying in wait. He nabbed Zorro and Nico, snagging Da Vinci's map and astrolabe too. After losing Da Vinci in the tunnel, Riario backed to the basilisk and set sail to find the Book of Leaves. He kept Nico as a hostage, but Zorro and Donati were now useless to him. Just before they're tossed overboard, Donati plants a kiss on Zorro. They surface not long after the ship sails off. Apparently, Donati had slipped her hairpin into Zorro's mouth during that kiss, and Zorro, being a pro thief, had enough of it to pick their locks. Back on shore, they dry off by a fire and plan to warn Da Vinci about Riario hijacking the basilisk. Trying to make amends, Donati introduces Da Vinci to her brilliant sailor friend Vespucci. Even if Da Vinci has no money, Vespucci has the means to get him a ship to chase down the basilisk.
We head to Pisa, we steal one of theirs.
Soon after, 3 papal guards board a Vatican slave ship. The captain instantly recognizes the leader as Count Riario, the Pope's nephew. This is Vespucci's wild plan. Da Vinci's posing as Riario to swipe the ship, but there's a snag. The ship belongs to Prince Alfonso of Naples, Riario's pal.
Who masquerades before Alfonso? Warrior par excellence and heir of the Kingdom of Naples.
Leonardo.
Seeing him being so pretentious, Da Vinci fires back with his own grand introduction. Words turn to swords as they duel, both skilled fighters in a dead heat. Vespucci freaks and jumps ship, but Zorro sticks around for his friend. When Da Vinci starts losing ground and takes a slash to the arm, Zorro bails and dives overboard without hesitation. Spotting a bunch of brawny slaves below deck, Da Vinci cooks up a new plan to take the ship, but with Alfonso going dual-wield, Da Vinci's outmatched. Before retreats, he tosses his sword below deck, a ticking time bomb embedded in the ship. Meanwhile, Riario's clueless about Da Vinci running scams in his name. With the map and astrolabe, he's sure the Book of Leaves is in the bag. In a good mood, the black maid beside him also looked particularly pleasing to the eye. The usually abstinent Riario can't resist a little action. While they're doing laundry fiercely, Da Vinci's brewing up another crazy scheme. He's prowling the port, checking out shellfish at the market when inspiration strikes. Spotting a lamprey latched onto a tuna, Da Vinci instantly knows what he wanted to create. He quickly sketches out his idea and hires craftsmen to build it ASAP.
It's a new invention. A mechanical fish.
You must know you're mad.
I've heard it said.
The arrogant Alfonso would never guess his ship's about to be bitten on the butt by a lamprey like a tuna. To gain acceptance from the primitive tribe, one must pass a special ritual. Da Vinci and his companions face a test involving a cup of water, a bowl of corn kernels, and a wooden stick to prove their worth to the tribe. The first man boldly grabs the stick, declaring he could be a tribal warrior, only to have his skull brutally smashed the next second. The second man, panicking, gulps down the water, but is immediately stabbed in the throat by the tribal chief. In reality, the answer to this seemingly deadly test lies hidden in Da Vinci's journey to this place. After failing to trick the Vatican into handing over their cargo ship by impersonating the Pope's nephew, Da Vinci cooks up an even crazier plan. Just by observing shellfish, he gets inspired and builds a submarine. Looking at this coffin-like wooden box, the craftsmen worry Da Vinci might drown, leaving them unpaid.
We'll fish us up, sell the remains as salvage.
Despite its all-wood exterior, not a drop of seawater seeps in. Adjusting the diving depth is as simple as releasing a few ballast stones. It's powered solely by the pilot hand-cranking a propeller, consuming only 2 loaves of bread per 100 nautical miles. An hourglass serves as a makeshift dashboard, helping them calculate and maintain cranking speed. The only drawback is the oxygen supply, lasting just an hour, but it's enough to reach the nearby cargo ship. Meanwhile, Vespucci boards the ship and pretends to surrender to Alfonso, tipping him off that Da Vinci is building a secret weapon at the dock. As Alfonso sends men to search for Da Vinci, Vespucci secretly pours oil on the deck, preparing to assist Da Vinci in capturing the ship. Unfortunately, the submarine hits sunken ship debris midway, and water immediately rushes in through the cracks. They're forced to speed up, even though it rapidly depletes their oxygen. Soon the submarine reaches the bottom of the cargo ship, and Da Vinci promptly rotates the upper handle to release grappling hooks that firmly grab the ship's hull. This method is inspired by the lamprey parasitizing on tuna. The dagger Da Vinci tossed to the slaves before jumping ship now comes into play. As Alfonso interrogates them, a female slave suddenly lunges at him with the knife. An enraged Alfonso plans to take her to his room for severe punishment.
From now on, your name is Toy.
Taking advantage of the deck's lack of guards, Vespucci ignites the oil he had previously spilled, starting a big fire. While the guards and crew rush to put out the fire, no one notices Da Vinci and Zorro climbing up the gangway. Freeing all the slaves takes time, so the professional thief Zorro stays behind to unlock their shackles, while Da Vinci goes to stall Alfonso. At this moment, Alfonso is furiously punishing the female slave in his room when Da Vinci's sudden intrusion scares him limp. He shoves the slave towards Da Vinci, using the distraction to grab his dual swords. Da Vinci fights while retreating towards the cabin's exit, managing to knock one of Alfonso's swords away as he pushes through the door.
This will be even more satisfying than screwing that Circassian gash.
Even so, Alfonso remains a formidable fighter, and after dozens of exchanges, Da Vinci ultimately loses by a hair. However, facing Alfonso's death sentence, he just smiles. The slaves outnumber the guards and crew, and the captain senses the change in tide, immediately switches allegiance to Da Vinci. He orders Alfonso to be put on a small boat and left to drift back to shore. Da Vinci, with his incredible memory, hand draws the map to the Vault of Heaven, but without the astrolabe, he still can't navigate the vast ocean. While observing the stars with his telescope, he suddenly notices that Venus, which should be in its left crescent phase today, appears as a right crescent. After a moment of confusion, Da Vinci excitedly realizes he's discovered a truth. He originally thought all planets revolved around Earth, but this is wrong.
It all moves around the sun.
The change in Venus's crescent phase proves that Earth also orbits along a certain path, with the Sun being the only center that fits the criteria. With the correct theory, Da Vinci can accurately deduce his position through celestial bodies, even without an astrolabe. A genius's epiphany takes but an instant, while the mediocre can hope to achieve it in a lifetime. For instance, despite Riario has the original map and astrolabe, still gets lost and runs aground in a storm, forcing him to abandon ship with Nico. After a long voyage, Da Vinci finally reaches the island indicated on the map. Seeing the basilisk's wreckage scattered on the beach, he realizes Riario has already arrived. Vespucci plans to sail back for supplies, promising to return in 3 months. In the end, only 2 sailors are willing to join Da Vinci and Zorro on their adventure. Shortly after entering the rainforest, they discover a pure gold emblem embedded in a stone pillar. Da Vinci notices its pattern matches the one on the key. Just as a greedy sailor tries to pry off the gold with his knife, a native covered in green juice appears. Though they can't understand his language, his angry expression makes it clear that the sailor's action has violated a taboo. Before Da Vinci can calm the situation, the 2 nervous sailors draw their swords, scaring off the native. They haven't yet grasped how dangerous these natives can be. The crude paths and wooden bridges all point to a sizable tribe living in the rainforest, possibly with the beginnings of a civilized society. Sure enough, a group of natives soon surrounds them from all directions. They work in perfect coordination, even using ropes to catch the sailor trying to escape. Da Vinci notices that the tattoos on their bodies also match the pattern on the key, but the language barrier prevents any communication. Instead of harming them, the natives tie their hands to bamboo poles and march them deep into the rainforest. Far from being afraid, Da Vinci is fascinated, learning a few simple words by observing the natives' conversations and corresponding actions. But Zorro worries they'll be used as food or sacrifices and secretly frees himself. His escape attempt fails, resulting in a beating until a beautiful native woman appears.
Tell her I'll be happy to service her in any number of ways to save the rest of you.
Under her lead, Da Vinci sees a stone city emerge, exactly as the cartographer described. The natives here have cultivated neat fields of corn, clearly in an advanced agricultural civilization. At the end of the fields, a priestess awaits them, smiling with joy upon seeing Da Vinci and the key. By nightfall, Da Vinci's group of 4 is brought to an altar. The natives, dressed in strange, elaborate costumes, seem ready for some mysterious ritual. A man in golden armor on the high platform is likely the tribal chief. The priestess presents Da Vinci's key to the chief, but they appear to disagree on something. The chief then has a golden cup filled with water, a bowl of corn kernels, and a wooden stick placed before the 4 outsiders. The sailor have seen similar rituals where participants choose an item to demonstrate their value to the tribe. The first man picks the stick, thinking the natives value strength.
Then I choose to be a warrior. Amongst warriors!
The cheering in the square stops abruptly, and a native warrior nods respectfully to him, just as he thinks he's passed the test. Watching the man's skull get smashed to pieces, the remaining 3 are terrified. Another sailor is pushed forward, desperately seeking Da Vinci's help, but the recent bloody scene leaves Da Vinci unable to think clearly. The sailor takes a desperate gamble and drinks from the golden cup. This time, the chief himself approaches. He removes his mask, expressionless, pulls a dagger from his boot, and unexpectedly stabs the sailor's throat. The remaining bowl of corn kernels seems to be the correct choice, but Da Vinci believes this isn't a simple process of elimination. The priestess's gaze towards Da Vinci mixes worry and hope, as if she wants him to pass the test and survive. Zorro is designated to go next, and he can't think of any answer other than the corn kernels. Da Vinci is frantic, racking his brain to figure out what the natives want. He recalls that corn is the main crop here. The wooden stick must be a hoe for planting corn, and water is equally essential for farming. In a flash of insight, Da Vinci grasps the connection between these items. His previously learned simple words come in handy, surprising the natives. With the chief's nod of approval, Da Vinci begins his answer. He first digs a furrow with the hoe, then scatters the corn kernels into it, and finally waters it with the golden cup. A seed, a farming tool, or water alone is meaningless. Only by combining them can they create the food humans rely on for survival.
Calcite.
Calcite! Calcite! Calcite!
As the natives chant life repeatedly, Da Vinci knows he's passed the test. The priestess smiles, walks over, and whispers in his ear.
Leonardo da Vinci.
She somehow knows Da Vinci's name, though he never revealed it. Before Da Vinci can recover from his shock and confusion, another surprise awaits. Long-lost Nico is also held here. This also means Rarario, who kidnapped him, has arrived. Zorro angrily rushes over and punches him hard, but Rarario neither dodges nor retaliates. Now that they're all stuck in the quest for the Book of Leaves, yesterday's enemies naturally become allies with a common goal. At this moment, the priestess enters the dungeon. She introduces herself as Kama, not only knowing Da Vinci, but also speaking his language. Kama takes Da Vinci into a cave to view murals recording their tribe's history, which can answer all of Da Vinci's questions. It turns out Da Vinci's mother once came here seeking the Book of Leaves, teaching Kama much knowledge and making her the chief priestess. She also prophesied that her son would follow in her footsteps. Da Vinci is thrilled, finally finding clues about his mother and confirming the Book of Leaves' existence. But the adventure is just beginning. To enter the vault and obtain the Book of Leaves, he must still pass a cruel and perilous test. To gain the primitive tribe's approval, one must pass the priestess's test with his genius-level IQ of 200. Da Vinci just survived the natives' ritual, while his two sailor companions met gruesome ends, one with a smashed skull, the other with a pierced throat. The priestess then tells Da Vinci that the only way to enter the vault of heaven and find the Book of Leaves is to become one with her.
Is this a marriage proposal?
The tribal chief personally conducts their union ceremony, performing a series of complex prayers and rituals. The priestess gives Da Vinci her hairpin and takes his necklace, a love token from Donati. But the final part of the ritual is incredibly dangerous. The priestess signals Da Vinci to reach into a shrine housing venomous snakes. As the venom enters his body, Da Vinci's life begins a countdown. Meanwhile, Riario is sent into the cornfields. He must defeat 3 hunters pursuing him before sunrise to obtain the antidote and save Da Vinci. Unarmed, he can only hide and wait for opportunities. Soon, Riario encounters a native warrior. Despite the native's immense strength, he underestimates Riario's brutality as the Pope's guard captain. After a few rounds, Riario turns him into a pincushion with the cornstalk. Riario then uses the native's corpse as bait to lure and kill the second hunter. The native warrior never expects him to hide in the ground, catching him off guard and costing him his life. With only 1 hunter left, Riario goes on the offensive. This native proves tougher, being both strong and agile, but Riario, hardened by killing, knows all the dirty tricks in the book. He fights dirty, from groin kicks to ear bites. While Riario's on his killing spree, Da Vinci's test begins. The poison weakens him, and drinking the priestess's ayahuasca allows his soul to wander between life and death. This way, he can see the spirits of the deceased and gather intel about the vault. To prevent Da Vinci's soul from getting lost in the spirit world, his body and mind must stay connected to his partner. One reason why the priestess married him.
Draw from me the strength you would need to survive.
Gradually, Da Vinci feels his soul enter a strange space, countless spirits passing by. He sees many familiar faces, like Giuliano and the cartographer. At the end of a long hallway hangs a painting. The cartographer's spirit tells Da Vinci it's his work from 20 years in the future. The Mona Lisa, the enigmatic smile and peculiar landscape behind her, give the painting a mysterious aura. As Da Vinci tries to explore further, he hears the priestess's urgent call. The sun's about to rise, closing the spirit world's gates. On his way back, Da Vinci's surprised to see Riario's black maid. Turns out Riario's already dealt with the 3 hunters and returned to the altar, but claiming the antidote requires a human sacrifice. His maid volunteers, fulfilling his obsession with finding the Book of Leaves. After drinking the antidote, Da Vinci fully awakens. The tribal chief acknowledges his right to enter the vault. Next day, the priestess leads Da Vinci's group deep into the valley. The vault's entrance hides behind a roaring waterfall. The gods set up deadly traps to protect this place, like the seemingly ordinary passage before them. The priestess sends in a goat, but when it reaches the middle,
you could have just told us, of course.
Clearly, this a weight-sensitive path. Anything heavier than a newborn gets crushed by the walls. To disable this trap, they need to press a button on the stone door ahead. The natives had tried throwing spears but failed. This, of course, is a piece of cake for Da Vinci. He immediately starts sketching a solution. The natives follow his instructions, crafting wooden gears and parts. In no time, Da Vinci assembles them, adding a long bamboo pole at the end to create a scorpion-shaped cart. Seeing the natives' skeptical looks, Da Vinci introduces it as the world's first self-propelled cart. It uses a spring made of bamboo strips and rope to store kinetic energy, driving the cart forward automatically. Da Vinci holds 2 ropes connected to the cart to control its direction. As expected, it's light enough to pass the gravity check. After hitting the stone door, the cart's brake system activates. Then, Da Vinci pulls a 3rd rope to raise the bamboo pole, hitting the button. With Riario taking the lead through the passage, they clear the first obstacle, but the second challenge stumps everyone. Before them lies a pitch-black abyss, too deep for torches to illuminate. Only a narrow bridge spans it, leading to a wall instead of a passage. Seeing 100 keyholes arranged in a triangle on the wall, Da Vinci asks the priestess for the key. Unable to figure it out immediately, he decides to try the center keyhole, but the next second, the stone bridge starts retracting into the wall. The priestess quickly pulls out the key and jumps back to safety, while Da Vinci begs for another chance. After a moment's hesitation, the priestess decides to bet on Da Vinci. As the bridge keeps shrinking, Da Vinci and his companions panic. He suddenly notices that each row of keyholes is a prime number, but their total of 100 isn't.
101 is...
This means there's a hidden keyhole somewhere. Seeing the bridge about to disappear under his feet, Da Vinci cracks the puzzle. They've been too focused on the wall above the bridge, ignoring what's below. Sure enough, Da Vinci finds the hidden keyhole underneath and inserts the key. The bridge stops retracting, and an opening appears in the wall. The priestess tells Da Vinci to wait while she goes back for bridge-building materials.
But you will not wait for her, will you?
Clearly, the priestess's earlier actions have created a trust issue between them. The final challenge seems harmless at first glance. Just two triangular keyholes on a stone door. It looks like they just need to split the key and insert the halves. But Da Vinci looks at the light beams behind them, senses it's not that simple. He and Riario simultaneously insert and turn their keys, but nothing happens. Watching the shifting light patterns on the door, Da Vinci realizes the key lies in the light filter behind them. Its clever design splits sunlight into dozens of beams that move across the door in a pattern. Only once per cycle do two beams hit both keyholes simultaneously. That's the moment to open the door.
Now!
However, the door starts closing as soon as they let go. Clearly, someone needs to keep turning the keys to keep it open, a task that falls to Zorro and Nico. As Da Vinci and Riario navigate the dim cave, they find only a pyramid-shaped stone platform. But at the end of cave is a cliff. They're met with an endless vista of mountains and clouds within reach. Suddenly, Da Vinci hears someone calling his name from the platform. Just as he leans in to listen, the priestess and natives arrive. Dragging in the battered Nico and Zorro, Da Vinci realizes he's been used. The priestess never intended to share the Book of Leaves. He was just a tool to open the vault. The voice calls again, and Da Vinci is sure it's his mother. But the natives drag him off to a dungeon. After a night of fruitless searching, the priestess decides to sacrifice Da Vinci and Riario to please the gods. Da Vinci begs for a last goodbye with his friends, secretly observing his surroundings and noticing oil cans in a corner. He passes this info to Zorro and Nico in code, as a young native girl's blood soaks the ground. The final ritual begins. Da Vinci's bound hands, reaching for the hairpin given to him by the priestess, suddenly stabs a nearby warrior and grabs his weapon. Though he takes the chief hostage, he and Riario can't escape the encirclement. He's just buying time and waiting for an opportunity. Turns out Zorro and Nico had deciphered Da Vinci's hint, used the oil cans to create the explosion. In the chaos, Da Vinci snatches back the key from the priestess and flees. Before returning to the vault, he steals some fabric from the natives and gives them to Nico and Zorro. Since all the previous challenges had been cracked, they enter the vault without any obstacles. After the final door, Da Vinci throws his sword to hit the button. Then the pursuing chief tries to break in, but is crushed to death by the door. Da Vinci instructs Nico and Zorro to craft escape gear according to his drawing.
It's a plan for ropes and cloths to form miniature canopies that will allow an escape from a great height.
Then he works with Riario on how to open that stone platform. The only clues are two metal grooves and some magnetic balls scattered around. Da Vinci recalls seeing these trapezoid grooves in the Mona Lisa background during his spirit world journey. Arranging the balls according to hidden numbers opens the platform, but instead of people or the book, there's only a mechanical head. It plays a recording of Da Vinci's mother like a tape recorder, but an arrow interrupts it before revealing the Book of Leaves' location. With natives in pursuit, Da Vinci has everyone grab a parachute and jump from the cliff exit. Though skeptical, they have no choice. The priestess begs Da Vinci not to take the book, but his answer leaves her hopeless.
There was no book.
Soon, the four open parachutes drift away, disappearing into the dense rainforest eventually. Tree branches cushion Da Vinci's fall, though he still tumbles several times before stopping. Riario's less lucky, suffering a severe leg fracture and bleeding. Da Vinci risks setting the bone. Riario's devastated at not finding the book, feeling his life's pursuit is in vain, but Da Vinci sees the mechanical head as proof of the Book of Leaves' existence. Unlike anything he's ever seen, he plans to return to Florence to repair it and hear the rest of his mother's clues. Little does he know, Florence has undergone dramatic changes. and a conspiracy awaits them. Women had no dignity during wartime, especially in medieval Italy. Upon returning to Florence, Da Vinci finds mercenaries raping and pillaging, with even the women in the Medici palace not spared. Even more shocking to him is seeing the Lord's wife Clarice chained to a chair like a plaything. Da Vinci realizes that all of Florence has fallen. After Da Vinci invented multi-barrel cannon and cluster bombs to thwart Rome's invasion, the Vatican had been plotting revenge. Florence's ruler Lorenzo traveled to Naples, seeking an alliance to counter Rome. The Pope seized this opportunity to bribe Lorenzo's ally, the one-eyed warlord, to attack Florence. Da Vinci ends up in prison, restrained by special shackles. Sharing his cell is Carlo, Lorenzo's uncle and a key figure in the Medici family. The guard, once publicly defeated and humiliated by Da Vinci, brings in two professional torturers for revenge.
But we may allow if you are willing to fondle our balls.
It turns out the torturers are Da Vinci's friends Zorro and Vespucci in disguise. After his rescue, Da Vinci decides to reclaim Florence from the invaders. He plans to create poison gas bombs and build a catapult to launch them into the Medici palace. Unfortunately, Zorro and Vespucci are captured by night patrols while out gathering supplies. Familiar with the palace layout, Carlo leads Da Vinci through the blacksmith's furnace, its chimney leading to the palace roof. Down below, the one-eyed and his cronies are living it up in the hall, forcing Zorro and Vespucci to fight each other for entertainment. Da Vinci takes out a prepared cow bladder, fills it with sleeping powder, and adds some acid to create a reaction. As the gas gradually inflates the bladder to near bursting, Da Vinci tosses it through the window. Everyone's stunned by this falling balloon, until a soldier stupidly slashes it. Smoke instantly fills the hall, causing anyone who inhales it to faint. The one-eyed prepared covers his nose and mouth with a napkin and quickly escapes into a secret room through a wall mechanism. Da Vinci slides down after him, holding his breath and grabbing two swords on the way. The one-eyed ambushes Da Vinci with a sword and chain mace, leaving him only able to defend without counterattacking. But Da Vinci's real weapon is his genius-level IQ of 200. He instantly identifies the one-eyed's weakness. He snaps one sword short, then sets aside the long sword to fight with just the broken one. Before each clash, Da Vinci taps the tip of his sword against the one-eyed's, seemingly testing something. Having achieved his goal, Da Vinci quickly rolls back and switches to the long sword. The one-eyed comes in swinging, but something's off. He can't reach Da Vinci and always falls short by half an inch.
Why do I keep missing you?
One eye, maybe?
Evidently, Da Vinci has exploited his inability to judge distances with one eye. He deliberately led the one-eyed to adapt to the short sword's fighting distance, then switched to the long sword to confuse his judgment. This battle is clearly a battle of wits, with the outcome already determined. Filling with anger, Clarice enters the secret room and personally turns the one-eyed into the no-eyed to avenge her humiliation. With their leader eliminated, the other rebels are quickly wiped out. Florence is completely liberated and returns to Medici family control. Meanwhile, Da Vinci's mentor brings good news. He has repaired the mechanical head Da Vinci brought back from the Vault of Heaven. It contains metal plates with many grooves that produce specific sounds when rotated and rubbed against the gold needle. They've never seen such intricate design, surely created using the Book of Leaves knowledge. Da Vinci hears his mother's message, learning that after obtaining the book she was betrayed by a companion and fled to Constantinople. As the mentor prepares for their journey, Carlo suddenly emerges from a corner and wounds Da Vinci with his sword. He thanks Da Vinci for finding the book's clues and seems familiar with Da Vinci's mother. Recalling the mural in the vault depicting a black man with his mother, Da Vinci realizes it refers to Carlo, the traitor who betrayed his mother. The unsuspecting mentor returns to the room and is ambushed and killed by Carlo. Worried about alerting the night patrol, Carlo sets fire to the room and flees. Seeing his mentor's brutal death, Da Vinci is devastated. Despite his injuries, he mounts a horse and pursues Carlo through the night. Concerning for his safety, Zorro follows along. They chase Carlo all the way to the coastal city of Otranto. However, the port there is blockaded, with city residents fleeing in panic. It turns out the Ottoman Empire's fleet is at the city's doorstep, with a major battle imminent. Clearly, Carlo escaped before the port was sealed. Da Vinci can only temporarily abandon his quest for revenge. Otranto belongs to Naples, and coincidentally, Lorenzo is there on a diplomatic mission with Da Vinci's father. Originally planning to ally with Naples against the Pope, they now find themselves forced to join the Pope to fend off the Ottoman invasion. Upon Da Vinci's arrival, King Alfonso flies into a rage.
Give me one reason not to kill you where you stand.
He hasn't forgotten how Da Vinci once hijacked his cargo ship and tossed him into the sea. Da Vinci confidently claims he can create weapons to repel the Turks. Just then, the Ottoman fleet sends an emissary to negotiate surrender. Through his telescope, Da Vinci is shocked to discover the envoy is his lover Donati, also Lorenzo's mistress. Faced with Da Vinci's questioning, Donati drops a bombshell.
The man you know as Pope Sixtus is not the true Pope.
It turns out Donati's father is the real Pope. The old man Da Vinci had previously seen in the Papal Palace. His twin brother usurped the papacy and imprisoned him, their identical appearance preventing detection. To reclaim power, he sent Donati to the Ottoman Empire with false papal orders, inviting the Sultan's son to visit Rome. The Pope, who's always viewed the Turks as evil infidels, not only killed the prince's entourage, but also stripped him and threw him out of the Rome. Humiliated, the Sultan's son is now leading the fleet to invade Italy. Donati's goal in sparking this war is to overthrow the fake Pope and avenge her father. Exposed, the Pope flies into a rage, refusing to surrender. Then Donati signals the failed negotiations with a torch. The port outside instantly lights up with hundreds of ships ready to set sail. This massive and well-armed fleet is capable of wiping out all of Italy. The once aggressive Pope, now terrified, flees in the night without a moment's delay. Da Vinci stays, needing this port to sail to Constantinople. He notices panicked refugees clogging the narrow city gates, and a crazy plan to repel the enemy instantly forms in his mind. The narrow and shallow port means sinking. The first enemy ships could block the entire harbor, preventing the remaining fleet from threatening the city. Alfonso raises doubts, stating his cannons lack the range and power for Da Vinci's needs.
What if we use this?
A turret gun.
Da Vinci immediately proposes improvements, hollowing out solid cannonballs and filling them with gunpowder, doubling their range and power, assembling 4 cannons together on a rotating base for rapid fire at different ships, and adding telescopes to improve accuracy. The Sultan's son sees the preparations, but doesn't consider a few cannons a threat. As the front row of enemy ships approaches the port, Da Vinci orders the cannons fired.
Now!
Suddenly, his father looks distressed, having spotted his long-lost wife. The woman standing on the flagship is Da Vinci's mother, but the cannon fuses are already lit and can't be recalled. The cannonballs hit the enemy flagship with precision, destroying it in a single volley. As Da Vinci predicted, the sunken wreckage blocks the port, keeping the rest of the fleet at bay. That night, soldiers and residents celebrate their victory, but Da Vinci remains gloomy. He worries his mother died in the cannon fire and wonders why she was on a Turkish ship. Checking the port, he's surprised to see the destroyed ships still burning with intensifying flames. Clearly, this is intentional. The enemy is creating a massive smokescreen to conceal something. But Alfonso dismisses this, believing the Turks incapable of any clever tactics and confident in the imminent arrival of his reinforcements. Little does he know, he's about to pay dearly for his arrogance and overconfidence. The Turks' strategy and military equipment are about to shock everyone. You can't imagine this is a medieval battle. Da Vinci combines 4 cannons, adds a rotating base and sights, and with just one volley, shatters the Ottoman Empire's fleet's offensive. As the flagship's wreckage sinks at the harbor entrance, it blocks the other ships outside. Strangely, the Turks don't extinguish the burning ships, but make them burn even fiercer. Through the thick smoke, Da Vinci vaguely sees many large cranes. Just as he's puzzled, Naples' fleet arrives to help, but before they can celebrate, this fleet is instantly destroyed. Da Vinci immediately realizes the seabed is filled with chain reaction explosives, detonating on impact. More shockingly, the Turks use cranes to lower ships into the harbor, their smokescreen hiding this action. Everyone panics, frantically operating cannons to stop the enemy, but it's too late. The first enemy ships entering the harbor have their guns ready, firing at Otranto's walls. Da Vinci quickly adjusts his turret gun to return fire. Though each shot hits its mark, it's a drop in the ocean. The Turks have numerous ships and surprisingly fast-firing cannons. Peering through his telescope at the Turkish cannons, Da Vinci freezes.
It's my gun.
They're clearly the organ guns he invented to repel Roman cavalry. He can't understand how the Turks stole his design. But there's no time to think. Dense cannon fire is about to demolish the entire wall. Everyone has to retreat into the city to face the invading enemy. With a thunderous boom, the several meter thick wall is blasted open. Thousands of enemy troops pour in like a tidal wave, wearing chainmail and wielding curved swords, superbly equipped. In contrast, Otranto's garrison is mostly mercenaries, inferior in fighting power. In the hasty defense, the unarmored Da Vinci quickly suffers several wounds. As King Alfonso is slain by a Turkish commander, the battle's outcome is sealed. Da Vinci and Zorro have no choice but to retreat into the city while fighting. The Turks continue bombarding the city until nightfall, turning all of Otranto into a sea of flames. Da Vinci meets Lorenzo and the fleeing Neapolitan soldiers in a tavern, all at a loss on how to break out. Lorenzo hopes Da Vinci can work another miracle, like when he effortlessly defeated thousands of Roman cavalry before. But Da Vinci is uncharacteristically flustered because the Turks' cannons, explosives, and cranes all stem from his designs. As a genius, he's confident in defeating anyone except himself. Suddenly, the street outside grows noisy, and a strangely shaped behemoth slowly emerges from the darkness. Da Vinci is stunned again. It's the armored war vehicle he once designed, the precursor to modern tanks. The Turks have somehow obtained the blueprints and built it. In an instant, everyone's fighting spirit is crushed by this monster with terrifying firepower. Only Da Vinci remains relatively calm. He directs others to stack all wine barrels facing the tank behind the door, hoping their explosion might create flames and shockwaves to stop the tank's advance. But as the smoke clears, the tank continues forward unscathed. Now, Da Vinci sinks into complete despair and confusion.
How can I fight myself?
By dawn, Turkish forces have penetrated the city center, employing flawless combined arms tactics. Lorenzo leads soldiers in ambush attempts at urban warfare, but to little effect. The Turkish tanks not only fire wide-area destructive shells, but also spew flames to deal with infantry. Seeing the last resistance crumble, Da Vinci can only flee the battlefield. The city is in chaos, with Turkish soldiers capturing civilians as slaves everywhere. Following the surging tide of refugees, Da Vinci, his father, and Zorro escape to a yet unconquered church. Temporarily safe, he falls into deep thought, marveling at how the Turks not only used his weapon designs but improved upon them. Da Vinci suddenly remembers the only Turk he's ever dealt with, Verrocchio, the Mithraic follower who's been guiding him to find the Book of Leaves. He's entered Da Vinci's mental world through hypnosis many times, just like his sudden appearance now. Verrocchio admits to stealing Da Vinci's designs and providing them to the Ottoman Empire. He shares the same goal as Donati's father, to cleanse Italy's corrupted faith and break the shackles on knowledge. They're willing to use the Turks to wage this war for their cause. The Mithraic religion's pursuit of the Book of Leaves is also to use its knowledge for this purpose. Da Vinci can't accept his designs being misused to slaughter innocent civilians and disagrees with Mithras' extreme methods. He plans to escape back to Florence to research new weapons to stop the Turkish invasion. Zorro learns from a refugee about a tunnel leading out of the city beneath a nearby building. To avoid enemy patrols, Da Vinci decides to travel above the streets. He takes a deep breath and shoots an arrow at the window of the opposite building, then pulls the rope to ensure the grappling hook is securely fastened to the railing. Since a single rope has limited capacity, they need a lightweight child to slide across first with a thicker rope. Once he secures the second rope, the adults can safely cross one by one. Just as everything is going smoothly, a coward screams in fear of heights, alerting the Turkish soldiers below. They quickly gather and start ramming the church doors. To cover the others' retreat, Da Vinci's father decides to stay behind and delay the enemy. Seeing his father captured by Turkish soldiers, Da Vinci can only swallow his grief and quickly escape using a chain on the zipline. As he's about to reach the end, Turks who've reached the rooftop cut the rope. Da Vinci barely manages to grab the windowsill and climb up. After a night of trekking, everyone safely escapes the city through the hidden tunnel. Meanwhile, Turkish soldiers herd all captives to a hillside outside town, where the Sultan's son forces them to convert to Islam. Only those who abandon their Christian faith and recite Muhammad's holy words can live. Otherwise, they face immediate beheading. When it's Da Vinci's father's turn, he chooses not to betray his soul. His only regret before death is not fulfilling his fatherly duties to Da Vinci.
Leonardo, Da Vinci will save you! He will save all of Italy!
This is the first and last time Da Vinci, as an illegitimate son, hears his father's approval. From this moment, the seed of revenge takes deep root in Da Vinci's heart. Back in Florence, he spends every day in his lab researching ways to counter tanks. The Turks' breastplates and tank armor use the same incredibly strong alloy. Breaking through this defense is key to defeating them. Da Vinci envisions using certain chemical reactions to release instant high temperatures to melt the armor. He adds a glass chamber to the shell's warhead, then injects reactants and catalysts into it. Thus, the world's first armor-piercing shell is born. But its effectiveness is short-lived. It must be loaded into a special cannon and fired before the reactants fully react. A violent explosion creates a massive fireball that instantly engulfs all targets. While the Turkish chainmail melts without a trace, the alloy breastplate remains intact. Clearly, the experiment is only half successful. Deeply frustrating Da Vinci, he dives back into his lab to improve the armor-piercing shell, but hits a dead end. Extreme anxiety and pressure gradually drive Da Vinci to madness. He even tests fuel burn rates on his own arm. In a daze, his mother appears before him. She tells Da Vinci she's not dead, but imprisoned on a Turkish ship. She was once a diviner in the Mithraic religion, but when she found the Book of Leaves and discovered its knowledge could destroy the world, she refused to hand it over to Verrocchio. If Da Vinci wants to fight the Ottoman army, he must use the knowledge from the Book of Leaves torn page, the mysterious page he saw earlier in the Pope's palace. It's now stolen by the keeper of the Vatican secret scroll, and Da Vinci's sister Sophia is trying to retrieve it. Da Vinci is shocked to learn he has a sister, but before he can ask more, his mother vanishes. Following her instructions, he returns to his hometown Vinci to wait for Sophia. However, Carlo arrives before his sister. Clearly, Carlo didn't find the Book of Leaves in Constantinople and plans to extract more clues from Da Vinci. Despite being beaten black and blue, Da Vinci doesn't say a word, forcing Carlo to temporarily halt the torture and leave. In the night, a girl sneaks into the cave. Her familiar eyes confirm to Da Vinci that she's his sister. The next day, when Carlo returns to the cave, he finds Da Vinci waiting for him. Axe in hand, without a word, they engage in a life-or-death struggle. In an instant, Da Vinci unleashes all his pent-up frustration and anger. He holds Carlo's head down, drowning him in the mud, avenging his brutally murdered mentor. Sophia gives Da Vinci the torn page from the Book of Leaves. Its content, as always, keeps changing and remains obscure. They try placing the page under moonlight, and something amazing happens. Da Vinci sees a three-dimensional design, seemingly for creating some intricate machinery. Sophia, however, sees vast dark clouds and lightning, with a headless bird flying in the center. Da Vinci immediately realizes their visions must be connected. From Sophia's description, he understands the headless bird likely refers to the flying device he once made based on birds, which even carried Nico into the sky. Next, they just need to build the machine Da Vinci saw to figure out its purpose. At this point, they're unaware of the terrifying weapon they're about to create, one capable of annihilating an entire army in an instant. Can you imagine Da Vinci harnessing the power of lightning in the Middle Ages? He embeds crystal lenses into the hollow wheels, with metal coils wrapped around each opening. This strange mechanical device is built according to the knowledge from the Book of Leaves. To unleash its power, it needs to be connected to a special kite with a transformer-like device on its back, made by Da Vinci's sister Sophia. Seeing dark clouds gathering overhead, Da Vinci immediately instructs Sophia to fly the kite. As he turns the gears, a massive burst of electric arcs erupts from the coils. Clearly, this electricity comes from the lightning in the clouds, conducted down through the kite string. The increasingly powerful electric field makes all of Da Vinci's hair stand on end. Da Vinci creates this terrifying weapon to repel the Ottoman Empire's invasion. The Turks stole his designs to make rapid-fire cannons and tanks, crushing the Italian army. Their breastplates and tank armor use an extremely durable alloy impervious to blades and bullets. Da Vinci first developed armor-piercing shells using instantaneous high temperatures from chemical reactions, but despite their devastating power, they still couldn't penetrate the armor. Left with no choice, he built this weapon named Nature's Wrath, based on the Book of Leaves design. However, the problem is that its lightning strikes are unpredictable in timing and direction, making it impractical for actual combat. As Da Vinci ponders how to use it, Zorro returns. He's immediately attracted to Da Vinci's beautiful sister, but is even more intrigued by the strange machine on the table. True to form, Zorro can't resist tinkering with Nature's Wrath. Luckily, the cowardly Zorro wears a Turkish breastplate, which saves his life. Da Vinci keenly observes that the current didn't strike the breastplate, rather the breastplate attracted the current. To test his theory, he places the breastplate opposite nature's wrath and turns the gears again. Sure enough, the arc is generated and hits the breastplate, heating it to a glowing red. But nature's wrath's limited stored electricity can't even pierce one breastplate, let alone deal with thousands of Turkish soldiers. Sophia suddenly remembers seeing a clock tower in the Book of Leaves. Da Vinci immediately understands the correct use of nature's wrath, to attract lightning from the clouds while attacking enemy forces below from the city's highest point. Zorro thinks Da Vinci has gone mad, as his method would kill Italian soldiers in armor too.
Yes! Exactly!
Without explaining, Da Vinci immediately takes nature's wrath to the front lines. Meanwhile, the Pope decides to unite all Italian city-states to form a crusade against the Ottoman Empire's army. To increase their chances, Zorro and Nico head to Warlord Vlad's castle to seek an alliance. Vlad clearly hasn't forgotten how Da Vinci burned him with magnesium powder and pushed him off the castle tower. He agrees to join the crusade, but on the condition that Zorro and Nico play a game with him. As soon as he finishes speaking, Zorro and Nico pass out, just like when Da Vinci drugged Vlad's soldiers. Upon waking, Nico finds himself in the spherical cage that once held the cartographer. Zorro relaxes when he sees a chess set on the table, as he's skilled at the game. But Vlad adds a rule. Every time Zorro contemplates his next move, a sword is removed from the cage, and Nico receives another wound. Amidst Nico's wails and screams, Zorro loses focus and loses 2 pieces in succession. However, Vlad's chess skills are terrible, and he still loses despite the advantageous rules. Yet he doesn't release Nico, telling Zorro he hasn't offered the correct sacrifice. After brief confusion, Zorro recalls Vlad's meaningful words during the game.
Is your champion a brilliant swindler, or just a dim-witted pickpocket?
On their previous visit, Zorro had secretly pocketed a sultan's gold coin, Vlad's war trophy from fighting the Turks. Zorro takes out the coin, runs to the castle roof, and throws it down, returning it to its original place. This game was just Vlad's way of punishing Zorro and Nico. He already hates the Turks and wouldn't refuse to fight them. Though the Pope and Satan-worshipping Vlad are mortal enemies, the threat of national destruction forces him to accept Vlad into the crusade. The Turkish invasion ironically unites the fractured Italian states like never before. After a hasty pre-war mobilization, the Crusaders march towards the fallen Otranto. However, when Da Vinci reaches the outskirts of Otranto, he sees only corpses covering the hills. Crusaders, but no Turks. They've clearly fallen into an ambush. By the time Vlad arrives with his Order of the Dragon, the battle is already over. Da Vinci meets Nico in the camp and learns that the Turks deployed dozens of tanks in the surprise attack. Without neutralizing them, the Crusaders face one-sided slaughter. Da Vinci has a plan to deal with the tank threat, but he needs to acquire one first. So, a night patrol of Turkish soldiers becomes unfortunate victims. The tank driver, focused on flame-throwing potential enemy hideouts in the bushes, doesn't notice his 2 companions outside are eliminated. When he peers through the periscope, he nearly soils himself. Clearly, Vlad is immune to fire, a fact Da Vinci had previously tested and proven. When the driver opens the hatch to look out, his fate is sealed. Da Vinci assigns Zorro and Sophia to sneak into Otranto's church bell tower with nature's wrath, while he and Nico infiltrate the Ottoman camp in the captured tank. Entering the driver's compartment, Da Vinci understands the controls at a glance. After all, it's his design. The gate guard doesn't suspect the tank, even pointing out its parking spot. Unable to understand, Da Vinci and Nico drive straight into the camp. At the tank park, Da Vinci quietly exits, planting bombs on each tank and connecting them with gunpowder fuses. At the same time, Nico continues driving, shielding Da Vinci. Just as they're finishing, a Turk notices something amiss. Nico unhesitatingly activates the flamethrower, roasting him. Exposed, Da Vinci and Nico load all cannons and unleash hell on the tank park. In moments, the Ottoman camp becomes an inferno. Da Vinci destroys their own tank with a final bomb. The next day, Da Vinci chooses an open field near Otranto's Cathedral for the decisive battle, ideal for maximizing nature's wrath's power. Zorro and Sophia reach the bell tower. Joined by Donati, who escaped prison, they quickly assemble and deploy nature's wrath. With a deep horn blast, thousands of Turkish soldiers appear on the hillside. They charge from on high, unaware that they're entering Da Vinci's carefully chosen graveyard. The Crusaders have lost half their force to the ambush, hardly stand against the Ottoman army at full strength. They fight desperately, but slow to wait for the destructive magic Da Vinci promised. Sophia had set up nature's wrath when the battle began, but as Zorro climbs to the roof to launch the kite, he slips and falls unconscious. Donati retrieves the kite ready to take over, but tower guards spot her. She painfully pulls an arrow from her leg, only to be hit in the back by another. Meanwhile, the Crusaders are in utter despair, facing annihilation. Seeing this, Da Vinci shouts surrender, ordering all Crusaders to discard weapons and armor. Soon, a small mountain of discarded gear forms. Just as the enemy commander prepares to behead Da Vinci, thunder and lightning suddenly fill the sky. With her last strength, Donati had launched the kite, and Sophia activated nature's wrath. Seeing the massive thunderclouds, Da Vinci smiles in relief. Nature's wrath frantically draws lightning energy from the clouds until it overloads. Before the Turks recover from their shock, divine punishment strikes. The mountain of armor becomes a perfect lightning rod, electrocuting all nearby armored Turkish soldiers. Remaining enemies on the hillside drop their weapons, their courage and beliefs shattered by this terrifying heavenly thunder. Da Vinci has no time to savor victory. His friend Zorro is seriously injured. His lover Donati dies in his arms, having redeemed her earlier betrayal. After witnessing nature's wrath's world-destroying power, Da Vinci abandons his obsession with the Book of Leaves. Humans can't control things beyond their understanding without causing disaster. The edifice of science and knowledge isn't built in the air, but must be explored and constructed brick by brick.
People of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things.